Ladies and gents, welcome back. The Emergencies Act inquiry is over. It finished off on Friday with Justin Trudeau taking the stand. And, well, he may have lied under oath. And we have a article here from the Post Millennial. Watch. Trudeau denies calling the unvaccinated misogynist racists while under oath. There are also people who are fiercely opposed to vaccines who don't believe in science, and they're often misogynist and often also racist, Trudeau said last year. But under oath, he had different things to say. On the final day of the Emergencies Act inquiry, Justin Trudeau claimed under oath that he did not call the unvaccinated any bad names. The Prime Minister was questioned on Friday by Eva Chipiuk, who you've seen on the channel here before. And, well, she did a great job on Friday with her cross-examination. One of the lawyers from representing the Freedom Convoy organizers. But the statements he had made regarding the unvaccinated and the ways that he has described them. Now, I'll just play the clip here for you.
A number of people have testified in this inquiry referencing your widely published comments and calling the unvaccinated racists and misogynists. And we have heard testimony in this inquiry about how some of your officials wanted to label protesters as terrorists. Would you agree with me that one of the most important roles of a prime minister is to unite Canadians and not divide them by engaging in name calling?
I did not call people who were unvaccinated names.
Well, we know that to be false, but he continues here to try to, rather than admit to the fact that he did that, he tries to then justify it here.
I highlighted there is a difference between people who are hesitant to get vaccinated for any range of reasons and people who deliberately spread misinformation that puts at risk the life and health of their fellow Canadians. And my focus every step of the way, and the primary responsibility of a prime minister, is to keep Canadians safe and alive.
Safe and alive by slandering them. Absolutely. Now, we have the clip here, and this is the original clip from the French TV program. Now, this is all in French, so for the non-French viewers that are just listening in, there's subtitles on this, and we'll go through what it means and what's being said here. Just bear with me for the brief moment.
Et là, oui, on va s'en sortir de cette pandémie par la vaccination. Puis on en connaît tous des gens qui sont en train d'hésiter un petit peu. On va continuer d'essayer de les convaincre. Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là ou est-ce qu'on dit, ben voyons, la plupart des gens, presque 80% des Québécois ont fait ce qu'il fallait faire, se sont fait vacciner, on veut revenir aux choses qu'on aime faire. C'est pas ces gens-là qui vont nous bloquer. Maintenant,
So there's a main point about this, and there's a contention. So let's get into what it actually says here.
Oui.
So we will get out of this pandemic by vaccination, he claims. And then he says, we all know people who are a little bit hesitant. We will continue to try to convince them. But there are also people who are fiercely against vaccination. And you know, he's making this claim about anyone who doesn't want it, doesn't want to be coerced into this thing. And then the co-host, or the host of the show says they're extremists, and then he obliges that comment by saying, who don't believe in science, they're often misogynist and also often racists. And then as he continues here, he says this phrase, and there's a small group that muscles in is what the translator wrote here, but here's what he actually says.
Raciste aussi, c'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place.
Mais qui prend de la place. So I was like, why are people getting a contention over this particular set of words? Well, I looked it up, and so the translator says people who muscle their way in, but actually, qui prend de place means who take up space. This is a particular. This is actually how it's said. It's not conjecture. It's not nuance. It's the translator changed what he said. Now we're all kind of. Well, what's the difference here? What's the difference about that? Now here's the whole part that's been said here. We're gonna end this pandemic by proceeding with the vaccination. There's still a part of the population fiercely against it. If they don't believe in science or progress, and they're often misogynistic and racist. They take up space. It says here they take up some space, but that's not some space in that. Again, with the translations, this leads us as a country, to make a choice. Do we tolerate these people? Now, even Bill Maher, American comedian, got on this, and at the time when he had said this.
You laugh at, but Justin Trudeau, I mean, I thought he was kind of a cool guy. Then I started to read what he said. This is a couple of weeks ago. He was, or maybe this is September, but he was talking about people who are not vaccinated. He said they don't believe in science. They're often misogynistic, often racist. No, they're not.
That was not smart of him at all.
Right. He said, but they take up space. And with that, we have to make a choice in terms of a leader as a country. Do we tolerate these people? It's like, tolerate them. Now you do sound like Hitler.
That was...
And recently he talked about them holding unacceptable views.
Wow. I'm surprised to hear that Trudeau said those things.
You didn't see the blackface? I mean, he's no, I'm kidding about I'm not. I mean, that was not a good look for him.
No, it was not a good look for him. But why is Bill Maher saying that this sounds like Hitler? So, well, probably because it sounds like he's paraphrasing him here. These are the words of Hitler. Why do we tolerate these people? When he was talking about Jewish people, they take up space. We need a final solution. And then Trudeau, in 2021, why do we tolerate these people? They're taking up space. They're racist, misogynists, who don't believe in science or progress. The leader of Canada is now paraphrasing Hitler in this. Now, I mean, what do we do here? Did he lie under oath? Is there a punishment for him lying under oath? Does this inquiry even have the ability to do that? Now, to get answers for what is this inquiry? What happens now that it's over? Looked at this article here on True North. The Emergencies Act hearings are over. What happens next? And well, the answer is, while the commission may have appeared like a courtroom setting to many Canadians looking on, the commissioner Paul Rouleau is indeed an appeals court judge. There will be no fines, charges, or any other repercussions brought upon anyone involved. The commission has no legal teeth and was not tasked with probing or judging potential wrongdoing. The next steps will instead be to see if the commission examined the evidence given in testimony and assess whether the invocation of the Emergencies Act was appropriate. As outlined in the order in council, the commission must examine the measures taken with respect to the evolution and goals of the convoy and blockades, their leadership, organization, and participants, the impact of domestic and foreign funding, including crowdsourcing platforms, the impact, role, and sources of misinformation and disinformation, including the use of social media, the impact of the blockades, including their economic impact, and the efforts of police and other responders prior to and after the declaration. Now, these are all things that they'll take into consideration, but at the end of the day, the law is the law, and what's written in the inquiry, what's written in the Emergencies Act is a clear outline for what are the parameters in which they have to work under this law. And it was Section 2 of the CSIS Act, as well as it being national in scope. Now, many people would disagree with the definition, including CSIS themselves. And, the PMO, the Prime Minister's office, they also disagreed with it falling under that category. And then they made up their own new legal framework for why they had to invoke the Emergencies Act at all. Now, the commissioner must submit to the governor in council a final report, including findings and recommendations, no later than February 6th, 2023. A report of the inquiry must be present in the House of Commons and the Senate of Canada before February 20th, 2023. So there's a pretty tight deadline on this. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did Justin Trudeau perjure himself? And if you lie under oath, should there be repercussions? I mean, what's the point of taking an oath if there's no repercussions for having lied under that oath? Was this just a show trial? Was this anything? I mean, because we know that it doesn't have any legal teeth, but should there be a punishment for lying under oath? We all know that was a lie. That he did, in fact, call the unvaccinated Canadians bad names, and that was not in the best interest for the country moving forward, maybe just for his political career. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.